Well, g'day folks, welcome to episode 20 of Between the Posts. We are coming to you from a different venue this week. Normally we're obviously at the home of Adelaide Footy League, but today we've ventured out somewhere different, Tony, and
where are we? I'm lost. No, well, magnificent. Go on, you tell them.
Well, we're at the home of Sportal, a new innovative technology company, and we're going to have a look at some of their stuff, which is, well, it's cutting edge, isn't it?
Mind blowing. I spent 2 hours here on Friday, and that wasn't enough.
Did you talk the whole 2 hours, or did you?
No, I watched and listened.
Right.
And then spoke.
Well, what have we got on today's show, Tony?
Of course, the division scores and some vision from certain grounds around the place, and I've got a couple of little comments I'll make about that because it's a winter sport. There you are, that's the lead in. Because we've got all the award winners from the Division 1 game and when Channel 9 went out and so on. Interviews are plenty. We can see a few people waiting in the background for their interviews because we've got in the green room, yes, because it's the women's grand finals again this week. News about, wait for this one, Sean, the handball competition that may be starting up next year, if not later this year. And we've had a bit of a warm-up and taught a few of the people around this beautiful, magnificent building here how to handball. Now,
yes,
strap yourselves in. There is fair income. I know you came in with one and you normally drop the bombshell. I'm going to drop the bombshell today. Fair income. The news, mate, this is, sit down folks and hold on to your hats. Fair income, mate.
Well, some of the stuff we've touched on the last couple of weeks hasn't been resolved either. But anyway, more to the point,
Pulteney
got up.
I'm back on board. Pulteney have won their first game for the year.
Unbelievable.
We thought they were going to go through not winning a game. They've won it.
And the girls' grand final.
And wait, we are the Navy Blues. The women have won the grand final. Guess who they beat? Pembroke. So I would have come in with a Pembroke jumper on had they won. So well done to the Pulteney Football Club out there. Stay tuned, folks. That's a little bit of fun. Don't switch us off because we've got so much more coming up tonight. Fair income. It is a ripper.
G'day guys, the Simon Black Academy is all about education and sport. Our partner in education is Torrens University, where our students either do a 1-year diploma course or a 3-year Bachelor of Business. Around that we run a football and athletic program based here at Norwood Oval, and it's all about trying to develop and take our students' game to a new level. Around that also, our third pillar, besides education and football, is personal development. If you want to get involved, check out our website, which is simonblack.com.au.
All right, folks, it's time to go around the leagues, and we'll start at Division 7. Tony, what have you got for us out of 7?
Yes, CMAX Clinical Research, Division 7. So, of course, a Greenacre 79-point win. You know what I'm like with the numbers, mate. They had 11 shots to 7 at half-time, so not too far off Hackham, but it became 30 shots to 11 by the end of the game. Flinders University won by 37 points. They kicked 7 goals 10 to 2 goals 6 after half-time. They were only 3 points up at half-time and won by 37. Houghton, now this is the big one. We've got some vision.
Ooh, yes, Tony, there's a lot
Houghton, versus Adelaide Lutheran. Now, Adelaide Lutheran won by 5 points. Just first of all, have a look at the vision in the mud, and isn't it fun? Now, what I will say here, Sean, there's been a few people just, let's say, on social media commenting on this. I say this, first of all, get your facts right. Houghton they're in the hills.
Right.
They can't control the weather.
Maybe they should play in the Hills League, Tone.
No.
I'm going into bat for
them. That is their ground, and if you're any kind of footballer, you learn to play anywhere, anytime, whether it's in the mud, in the wet. I used to love playing in the mud and wet because everyone's slowed down, so good on them. The only thing is, they lost by 5 points. This week, that ground has to be used again for the final. Now, if they deem that that's where they want to play it, then let them do that. If the league decides, no, we go to a drier ground, whatever, then that's up to them. I will say this, 17 shots to 12, the team that had 12 shots won. There's no home ground advantage because Adelaide Lutheran won the game up at Houghton. So that proves a point. And they're the two teams that play off this week in the final.
Yeah, no, you make some good points. First thing I'll say to that is we're trying to do a condensed version tonight, so let's keep things moving a little bit quicker if we can. The only thing I'll add to that is The muddy grounds used to be determine whose mum had a, was it Whirlpool back in the day?
Oh, there's another sponsorship coming on as well.
Okay, let's move on to Division 6, is the O'Neill Sportswear division. Nothing caught my eye in this division because all games went as you would expect. Joshy Rosenthal kicked the lazy 4 for Fitzroy, and Wormwood kicked 5 for Trinity, and everything else, Coombs for Brahma Lodge kicked 6. Everything else went according to plan, Tony.
Righto.
Division 5.
Wakefield Sports Division 5. I don't know that I can beat that, but I'll give it a go. Of course, Jeps Cross defeated Elizabeth by 7 points. Elizabeth needed to win to stay alive. They're 1 point out on the ladder, and they play Lockleys this week, so I don't know that they're going to get there. Go on.
Yeah, I must have mentioned there was a 40-year reunion at Jeps Cross on the weekend of a SAFA premiership. Back in the day, so apparently a good turn-up, so well done to the people out at Jeps Cross for that.
Hectorville 13-point winners, but they kicked 12 goals to 7 after quarter time over Eastern Park, so that's where the win came. Lockley's 192 points now. We did see the news, Big Haran kicked 8 and he's kicked his 100th goal.
First player to kick 100 this year, yeah, fantastic.
And you wouldn't believe it, 56 shots to 9. I noticed Salisbury, they've got a new coach coming in.
Right, okay.
May have some work ahead of him, but no, that's how it works, that's how it falls. Blackfriars, St Paul's, 12-point win to Blackfriars, and Colonelite Gardens and Kilburn was a draw. Colonelite Gardens were up by 6 goals at half-time. They kicked 4 goals to 10 in the last half. Kilburn kicked 5-goal last quarter to draw the game. Interesting outcome.
Fantastic. And that was the quickest you've ever done a division wrap, so that's terrific. Let's move on to Channel 9 News Division 4. You've already alluded to the big news out of Division 4. Pulteney getting their first win of the year, 8-12 to 6-8. I believe they came from behind at three-quarter time as well. So the drinks would have tasted very sweet Saturday night out of Pulteney. Jesse Winning kicked 3 there. Pembroke took care of Portland. Not a massive margin, but they retained top spot. Paraka, well, they just keep going from strength to strength. If I was a betting man, and I'm going to have a buddy bet with you later on, I'd have a punt on Paraka winning Division 4 this year. I think they sit in 3rd position at the moment, but get some money on them. And Kenilworth beat Woodville South. That was the match of the round in the fact that it was only 2 points separated the two sides. And the last game was Hope Valley versus Plympton. Well, I guess Hope Valley in 2nd spot, Plympton in 3rd, so 2nd versus 3rd. Wasn't a lot in it, so we are set for a good final series in Division 4 as well, Tone.
Might bring that jumper in next week. Anyway, Division 3, Sip and Save, Edwardstown 13-23, 35 scoring shots. Hold on to that one. They kicked 1-9 in the first quarter, 3-6, 5-3 and 4-5. So they straightened up a little bit in the second half. So huge win, 69-point win. We go down, we get the Golden Grove versus CBC, you wouldn't believe it. Golden Grove, 23 goals, 12. Guess what that is? 35 scoring shots, Sean.
There's a little bit of Rain Man about this segment. Has anyone ever...
No, you look these things up. Now, they won by 135 points over CBC.
Right.
But they kicked 2-7 in the first quarter, 8-1, 4-3 and 9-1. So their second and fourth quarters, they kicked 17 goals too. And Jed Banwell kicked 6 goals. So certain things jump out at you when you look at these things. And Modbury, 54-point win over Smosh, who kicked 7 points in the first quarter.
The only thing I'll say about this division, Tone, is that Westminster are still pursuing their action about getting their points reinstated. I was quite critical last week on the show about this, and I'm gonna roll with the same line again this week, and that is Westminster. I understand what you're trying to do, but you're playing Golden Grove, the top side, are undefeated this week in the last game of the year. You will not win, so therefore you will not get the points. So therefore, all this time and energy is being wasted on nothing. You can't make the top 5 and you won't get relegated, so you're safe. Take your energy and put it somewhere else.
I've got a new nickname for you.
Yeah.
The mediator.
Yes, okay.
Between the clubs and the league.
Yeah.
We'll touch on that next week won't we?
We will.
Go on.
And actually, not a bad time to mention that, Tone. Next week we're going to have a real round the table discussion on the salary cap. So if you've got any real issues, burning issues at your club, and you've got a suggestion or you've got some angst with the salary cap, feel free to email it through, because we're going to have a representative from a traditional club, Goodwood Saints. We're going to have a representative from PAC at one of the college sides, and we're hoping to have a representative from the SANFL who can point out the rules and the intricacies of the salary cap.
It's an eye-opener and an ear-opener. I've already got my questions ready, so the ones that come in you'll have to read out. But it really is an educational form of questioning, let's say. Go on, Sean.
Yes, Division 2, breakthrough mental health. North Haven took care of Salisbury North. Salisbury North's last half of the year's been pretty good, so wasn't too far off. They weren't too far off the mark, 6 goals. Sandico kicked 4 for North Haven. Athelston, well, they're charging. They're 10 goals win over Gaze. It wasn't unexpected. They'll finish third and they'll play Broadview first week of the finals at Broadview. And let me tell you, I'll give you some late breaking news on that. Broadview, would you believe, are challenging the suspension to Jesse White.
Another one. There's a few challenges going up.
So I would hate to be sitting in the White House at the moment, mate. They'd be under the pump a little bit time-wise. So stay tuned to how that one pans out. Running out of time because this is the last minor round game. Apparently he has played 2. Jesse White played 1 where he sat, or didn't sit on the bench. It was a game named in the C-grade game when they played. Which you're allowed to do. So if by some chance they are able to play him this week, he would qualify for the finals. So stay tuned on that one. Adelaide University, well, I guess this was the most important game of the round, really. Adelaide University up against Unley Jets. They won and they secured their spot in Division 2. And unfortunately for Unley Jets, they've gone Div 1, Div 2, and next year they'll be in Div 3.
I'll get to read their scores out.
Yep, and Broadview beat Henley by 3 goals on Saturday as well. So Kobe Russell kicked 6 out of 11, so that was a terrific effort.
Good lead into the finals. We discussed this last week. You know, just leading into the finals, have a couple of hard games, not just easy wins, and we're seeing that through the division, Sean. So very well done. We'll go on to Division 1. Righto folks, it's time for our Buddy Bet Division 1 wrap, and what a round it was, Sean. And we look at the first game, Brighton Bombers versus Prince Alfred, and my notes here they come. Yeah. Third on the ladder now, Prince Alfred, 55-point win, and they won all 4 quarters.
Yeah, it's looking ominous for back-to-back for mine too, Tony. I had Goodwood Saints to win it. 8 weeks ago, people at PAC were saying they were going to get relegated. And that's how quickly it's changed on the back of Trengo back into some sensational form. You know, now getting Curran playing good, consistent footy. If they can get back Herd from Norwood Reserves as a key focal target, I say get on PAC for the flag.
The scoring's around the mark. They're in around that 4th, 5th highest scoring. Defence, second best.
Yeah.
Second best. So they're going well, mate. Of course, the game that you guys called, Ross Trevor versus Old Collegians, Ross Trevor Old Collegians versus Old Ignatians, 35 points, 9 goals to 6 in the second half. Murphy kicks 5, and have they saved themselves that relegation spot?
Well, that was Relegation Cup on Saturday, no doubt about it. I think when Murphy plays well, they win. And, you know, his best footy is probably past him, to be honest with you. He's not the running type of player, but his body work is still terrific. Kicks 5 goals. They win quite comfortably. The margin actually flatters Old Ignatians, to be honest with you. That was a 8-9 goal win to Ross Trevor on the weekend. They were clearly the best side all day.
Well, Old Iggy's kicked 11-4, so quite accurate. Both teams quite accurate, 16-9. So, I get that one. Goodwood Saints versus Tea Tree Gully up there at Tea Tree Gully, and 68-point win. They had an 8-goal last quarter. I alluded to this last week with several teams. They only won 2 of the 4 quarters, but 8-goal last quarter, and they win by 68 points. So is it let's just get through the game, hopefully unscathed, and just roll into the finals?
Oh, look, I think first of all, they needed to bounce back after the loss the previous week to Glenunga at home. No one picked that. And one thing Goodwood Saints are very good at, they don't generally go loss back-to-back. And they do bounce back exceptionally well. So I was expecting a margin like that. That didn't surprise me at all. They're a good side, Goodwood Saints. And I certainly haven't written them off by any means, but I am wary of PAC,
Yep. for sure. Then we go to Glenunga versus Payneham Norwood Union, 25 scoring shots to 14. They win by 47 points. They won 3 out of 4 quarters. Looking the goods in 4th position. They've actually, to be honest, they surprised me a little bit where they've ended up. And well done to them, well coached, well played.
Yeah, you've got to be impressed by what Glenunga have done this year. There's no question about that. Next week they play, well, this Saturday, they play Olding Nations. And that is Olding Nations' last chance to avoid relegation. I think the last round, both Olding Nations and Ross Trevor have got difficult matchups. And they fancy their chances against Glenunga, but I'm not sure they've experienced Glenunga for quite a while.
Yep.
And their form in the second half of the year has been terrific.
Yes, yeah, I agree, and they're heading towards the finals, and they've been there before, Sean.
Yeah.
Over an extended period, not like some teams are just coming in for 1 or 2 years. Glenunga have been up there for a long, long time. You know, they had one drop-off year, but a long, long time. Our last game, of course, what a ripper this was. Port Districts and St Peters, and 3 points in at 13-6 to 13-9. And in my notes, the first half, 8 goals to 5 by St Peters. They were on their merry way. Second half turned right around, 5 goals to 8. So a complete turnaround, and Port District show their strength, and Dale Pearce kicks 5. You saw them a week ago. How are they looking?
Yeah, it's good to see Dale Pearce kick 5, first of all, because he's only a young kid coming through, and he can get frustrated pretty quickly. So it was good to see him be on his game. Look, that matchup, the fact that Port Districts were able to hang on when it got a bit tough at the end is a good sign for them. It was an away game. And St Peters, well, their form has been pretty poor the last half of the year.
Agreed.
So that was a good bounce back for them, and that'd give them a little bit of confidence. They now go into the finals, you would think, in a couple of weeks' time, and they're saying to themselves, well, the team that's finished top of the ladder only beat us by 3 points, and we could have won that game. So that's how even our competition is.
So this week, we'll come to the broadcast game in a moment, but St Peters play Brighton, 5th place, 6 on the ladder. Yep. Brighton are that game off. 7 and 9 versus 8 and 8. They need to win this week, and we'll obviously have another look next week. But St Peters, I'm just a little bit worried, just dribbling in or limping into the finals now. But the other side of it, Sean, you've only got to get into the 5. Give us an opportunity. Yeah,
look, and they've played some good footy against the other sides in the 5 this year, so they wouldn't go in with any real sense of panic. But I still think they'd like to get a win on the board this week. And conversely, Brighton, well, every time we pick against them, they win.
Up they come.
And on Saturday they were at home, and I thought, they might pinch this against PAC. They get beat by 10 goals, so they're likely to come out and win this week, Brighton. That's the nature of the competition, and they've been really good.
Now, the broadcast game is a prelude to the finals. What an absolute ripper, mate. Yeah. Goodwood Saints versus Prince Alfred at Goodwood. Fair income, mate. What a matchup. Salivating, this one.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward. I might not be able to sleep all week thinking about this game, to be honest with you.
Second versus third.
And given that it's so tight, the emergence of PAC over the last 6 weeks, we'll get a real indication on Saturday if that's a genuine emergence, and I think it is. So it's, can they beat Goodwood Saints on Goodwood Saints Oval? They don't lose too often there, so it should be a beauty.
We've had a couple of close ones, Goodwood Saints, this year. They've won in the last quarter, they've come close and lost one. And we will allude to this over the next few weeks with finals, mate. How important is self-belief and team belief? And I think Prince Alfred have got that.
Yeah, well, they're reigning premiers, so you get a lot of confidence from that anyway, don't you? And I think, given they lost so many players in the off-season, they probably weren't expecting to be where they are now. And so you got to give them some credit for that.
Oh, fantastic.
They've been able to merge a pretty much a new side over the course of the last 10 weeks and play some really good footy. So can they keep it going? We'll get a good indication on Saturday. All
right, folks, that's our Division 1 wrap. It is so exciting. 2 rounds to go in Division 1, of course. Goodwood Saints versus Prince Alfred, the big game. If you can't get along, watch it live streamed and commentated. It will be an absolute ripper. And stay tuned, short break, and we'll be coming back with more in just a moment. Well, folks, we're down here at the Banner Crew. Our friend, supporter and sponsor of Between the Posts has joined us. Welcome, Jason Goods.
Thanks, Tony. Nice to be with you.
What can the people out there expect to buy from the Banner Crew and get looked after?
Pretty much anything that you can put your club logo on, or a message from the club, whether it be, like you mentioned, a marquee or a flag or an A-frame or a banner. a stubby holder, a pen, anything like that, anything that you can pop the club branding on. Everything's customisable. So basically we've got an in-house design department with 2 graphic designers that can work toward getting the message across that you're after.
We're down here at 318 to 326 St Vincent Street, Port Adelaide. Jason, thank you so much for your support.
Well, as you may know, folks, this is a pretty big week in our footy calendar, and more particularly the showpiece of our women's footy is the Division 1 Grand Final this week, amongst a host of other Grand Finals. And competing this year are the Morphettville Park, I got that wrong, didn't I? I got it right, Morphettville Park Roos and the Smosh West Lake. So we asked Morphy Parks to send in a couple of representatives. Might have been easy to say leave a couple of representatives at home, because the whole forward line, the whole midfield and half of the back line is here today, so I'm not sure how long this interview is going to take. But best I stop talking and introduce you to the girls on my left. First of all, the medalist, the Gina Dutchke medalist this year in a runaway victory. Celestina Donna, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Have you stopped celebrating the...
Yeah, pretty much stopped the second I left the club on Monday, so...
Right, so just tell the folks at home, it's a load of crap, isn't it, when they say footy's a team game? You won the medal, that's what it's about, isn't it?
No!
Oh.
No way!
Oh, okay, right, okay. I just thought that might have been a myth. Well, congratulations
Thank you.
to you, a runaway winner, as I said. And on your immediate left is Marie Martino. How are you, Marie?
Yeah, good.
Looking forward to...
How are you?
Good. Are you looking forward to Saturday?
I am, yes.
Where's the game being played at?
Mitcham Oval.
I'm testing you now,
Yeah,
aren't I?
I
What
know,
time?
I know. 3:30.
Fantastic. Okay, on your left is someone who didn't know she should have a nickname of Rhodes, and she'll need to go home and look in Wikipedia, or what do you look on now? Google these days, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Wikimedia is not a trustworthy source. Come on.
Hannah Scholar, how are you, Hannah?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Good. What position do you play?
Play a bit on the half-back flank or deep pocket.
Deep pocket.
Yeah.
That's not Tony, he's got deep pockets. Trying to get him to buy beers, like that's where he played most of his footy. Well, one thing I will ask, you girls have been very successful for a long period of time. Now, you've been in the last 3 grand finals. You won it last year. You're in the grand final the year before. What makes Morphy Park so successful as a footy club?
I think we've just played together for so long. We're pretty well connected. Everyone gels really well. We don't have any sort of bad eggs in the club.
No.
No, there's
No
never
cats.
any of that. No,
Right.
yeah, it's one of our trademarks, I guess, is family. So yeah, it's great. Like, I've been at the club for, I think, 8 years now.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And
100 games.
Oh, congratulations.
yeah, 100th on the weekend.
Which is
last-
almost like
yeah.
200 in men's, isn't it, really? Because you have shortened seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's been a while, but yeah, it's such a great club, and I think that's why we have success, and just the depth and how long we've been playing together for. So.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. And on your left is Tess Morecambe. How are you, Tess?
I'm great.
You looking forward to training tonight?
Yeah, I love the Monday night trainings. They're a bit more relaxed.
Right.
We get a bit of run in the legs,
You
and then
said to me off air, make this interview go as long as you like so we're late for training. I hate the warm-up.
oh, I don't know. I don't want to cross Brad. He's picking the selection this week, so we got to do everything right.
We'll talk about the coach in a minute, but on your left, lastly, is Michaela Walker. How are you, Michaela?
Good, thank you.
You won't be walking on Saturday, will you? You'll be Michaela Runner on Saturday, won't you?
Heard too many of these jokes.
Oh, sorry. I like to think I'm original. All right. Well, look, I'm going to ask you, put you on the spot, Michaela. Your coach, is he a feral?
No.
He is a Brad Ferrell, is he not?
I understand, look, the last name, yes.
Right.
He is, and like, I came to the club only this year, and he is such a sweet and caring person. Like, he really brings you into the club.
Is that important?
Yes,
Yep.
I think it definitely is, because it definitely brought me to love the girls at the club as
Okay.
well, by
Yeah,
the way
nice.
he coaches them.
Yep.
And
So where were you before?
I actually didn't play up here, so Morphettville was my first club.
Okay.
I started at Glenelg, was my first footy up here in Adelaide.
Right. Okay. So you're from the country. Whereabouts?
Yes, I'm from Narracourt.
Oh, I'll speak a bit slower. Sorry. No, only joking, Michaela. Now, I'm not sure how we're going to... I'm just going to throw some questions out there. Whoever wants to answer can answer. How's our record been against Smosh this year?
We've won 2 and lost 1,
Right.
including one final. The one we lost definitely had some COVID outs that week, including the coach and myself, the captain. So that was a pretty rough week.
Wow.
But I think we've really bounced back in the second half, had some really solid ins from our Sandford players coming back, people like Martino coming back from Glenelg. And that's really kind of gelled into the back half of the season and had a really strong performance against Smosh in the last 2 games we've played them.
Okay, so I didn't realise you were at Glenelg, so that's an interesting point. So you're
Marie.
You're at Glenelg.
Yeah.
So you had Jason Farrell as your coach there, but you've got Brett Farrell here.
Yeah.
You need to get away from the Farrells, don't you? All right, well, okay, so pretty good record against Smosh. How are we looking from injuries, COVID perspective this week?
I think we're all right.
Yeah?
I think we're doing pretty
I'll
good.
get you to grab the mic.
You got the mic.
Oh, you,
I got this.
You're okay? You're full list to choose from?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. We're not missing anyone currently. Brad's been pretty careful with the whole COVID outbreak stuff. So generally on like Wednesday, we'll get together, have dinner, but we've decided not to do that. We'll mask up in the change room and like at training just to keep safe. And I think, to be fair, that has prevented a lot. But then again, whatever you're doing outside of footy is also hard. But I think we're looking pretty good this week. I don't think we have anyone currently out, so fingers crossed it stays that way.
Okay. Now, given you've been here before a couple of times, is there anything being done differently? And you've had the same coach. So is there anything being done differently this year, or is it just roll on another game, we'll win this and celebrate like we did last year?
Yeah, I think it's probably just continuing those good habits. Hannah mentioned it before, our trademarks of family, relentless, resilient, and I always forget the fourth one. What's the other R? Anyway.
Responsibility?
Something like that.
Rude.
And that we just focus on those trademarks and do our game. Brad's been doing an amazing job scouting the other teams and going to a few games and picking up a few secrets.
Yeah.
So we're going to be planning towards those over the next few trainings, but we're not changing anything. We know our game, our best game, can be anyone in the league.
And how's the support from the men?
Yeah, they've had a few games before us over the last few weeks, and they've really stuck around and made a bit of noise and given us a bit of an extra edge, I think, at home. The Pasty, our home ground, is a bit of a difficult one to play on for visiting teams.
Yep.
So I think having the men's and a lot of community support around there has helped really boost us in those last home games.
I'm going to ask you all to answer this question. For the girls that are at home watching this, that are unsure about whether they should play footy, how long have you been playing and what does it mean to you to play footy?
How long have I been playing? Well, I started at Auskick when I was probably 8.
Okay.
So I've been on and off for football for ages, but I love the physicality of it.
You like hitting people?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. You're a brute.
I've grown up around a lot of guys, like
Okay.
boy cousins and everything like that. I just
Yep.
love the physicality, and I feel like it's a good escape to have something of your own, as well as share it with people that
nice.
you can create a new family with.
Okay. Tess?
I came to footy pretty late. I only started when I was 26, so I played for 5 years. I played lots of different sports, but footy was the first one I came to where everyone just accepted you as you were. If you were quick, slow, tall, short, you had a place.
Yep.
Yeah, and I really felt that at Glenelg and at Morphettville when I played there.
Yeah. Okay. Hannah?
Yeah, so as I said earlier, I've been playing for 8 years. I originally am from Queensland, so I moved here, didn't really know many people, went out to footy, and like I'll do it 10 times over again. Like, it was the best thing I've done since moving to a new city.
Right.
The friends I've made, it's just been insane. And then, like Tess said, like I didn't have any sporting background, so you can kind of bring different elements to the table. It doesn't have to just be skills. Like, you can be hard at tackling or whatever, which obviously when you're from Queensland is probably my strength, I would say, with NRL. But it was great. You can fit anywhere into it, so it's good.
Yeah. Marie?
I've been playing since 2017. I was 17 then. I came from netball, so it's very different in the aspect of like everyone's so welcoming, very accepting. Women's footy is like just very inclusive, so I just love that aspect of it.
Yeah.
Anyone can come. Yeah, everyone's pretty much said.
All right. Celestina? You've got your own mic.
Yeah, I know, I'm
Give it to us.
special. I've been playing footy for, I think, 4 or 5 years. I came to the club in 2018. I come from athletics, volleyball, soccer background, so I guess having that fitness externally did help coming to footy. But hey, I started in B grade, played a year and a half in B grade, worked my way up, played A grade, and like the girls have said, like I wouldn't go anywhere else, and I'm very lucky to have been introduced to Morphettville Park. It's quite close to home, which was handy, but you know, like I don't look back and just go, I couldn't go to any other club. Everyone's just so like lovely. I was new, really had like no friends, but now I've got a family here forever.
Do you think money will come into girls or to women's footy at some stage? Are any of you being poached by other clubs with an offer of some donuts each week or a pair of free boots?
If you get best on ground, you get some cash.
I think I've heard some rumours, like eventually country clubs will be able to offer some money, but I've also heard rumours that potentially might come into Sandful, which would be good because then you can claim, you know, all your boots and stuff. Would be nice. Yep. As an accountant speaking there, but I think it's still probably a few years away. I think at least.
Just finally, a show of hands, who thinks footy is the best sport they've played? Or if netball is your number one sport, don't put your hand up, but I'm just curious. All 5 of you think footy's the best? Geez, that is unbelievable. Hey, women's footy has gone a long way, but to have 5 girls like this come in who are playing the grand final this Saturday, actually, well, makes the hairs on the back of the neck stand up, to be honest with you. I'd love to be out there on Saturday watching you. Good luck. Thanks for coming in. You're a fantastic representation of your club, and I can see why your club's been so successful. Good luck, girls.
Thank you.
Well, good day, footy fans. My name's Phil Herden, and welcome to the Women's Wrap. We're right in the thick of grand final action. 4 premiers for 2022 are in the books. 4 more to be decided this coming Saturday. This wrap is brought to you by CMAX Clinical Research. If you are thinking about participating in a research trial, you can learn more by jumping onto their website, cmax.com.au. Alright, I'm Phil Herden. Let's get into what's happening around women's footy in the Adelaide Footy League, and it was grand final day at St Mary's Park for 4 of the competitions, including the Powerade Division 6. And here it was Edwardstown and Loreto Old Scholars. Edwardstown a narrow lead at quarter time and 3 points at half time. Loreto hit the front by 5 points at 3/4 time, but then could not add to their score. Edwardstown added 2 goals to claim the expected premiership with a 7-point victory. Congratulations to the Towns, the Powerade Division 6 premiers. In the Safety Hub Division 5, a prelim final, and you do not see this score that often. Fitzroy's recent run of form continues. They were goalless, but they polled on the points pressure, and point by point, they took over Woodville South's 117 to claim a spot in the grand final, a 4-point victory. They will play Eastern Park at 10 a.m. next Saturday at Price Memorial Oval at Mitcham, and that will be live streamed on Sports Interactive. How these two have met in previous battles this season, well, Eastern Park beat Fitzroy by 10 Dwight Reserve round 7, and Fitzroy returned the favour in round 12 with a 14-point victory. So Eastern Park have had a pretty good season, but nothing is guaranteed. And if you want proof of that, just look at the Villiers Bakery Division 4, where Pembroke Old Scholars led the division pretty much throughout, but just came unstuck in the final game. In fact, in the final quarter, they led by 2 points going into the final stanza. Kicked 1 goal, 2. Pulteney kicked 2 straight, and that difference was enough. A big day for Pulteney. Their men's A grade also won their first game all season. I think the Hyde Park Tavern is their hotel of choice. That would have been a serious party place come Saturday. And congratulations to the Pulteney girls. You are the Villiers Bakery Division 4 champions. To the 9 News Division 3, who had their prelim final, and Brighton took care of Golden Grove by 7 points. So the grand final that will again be live streamed this Saturday from Mitcham, Goodwood Saints will play the Bryson Bombers. This will be their 4th meeting this season, the first 3 all going to Goodwood. But have a look at the way the margins have gone. The Saints by 45 in round 3. then by 13 in round 10, then by 4 in the second semi-final. Brighton are getting closer. Can they do something come grand final day? We'll find out soon enough. Congratulations to Tea Tree Gully, who won the reserves, the Cinderella's Commercial Cleaning Division 2 reserves. They led at every change, emerged a 17-point victor. They had a mortgage on the competition at various stages, a couple of wobbles near the end, but at the end of the day, they emerged victorious with that reserves championship. So congratulations to the Tea Tree Gully girls. To the league, Gazer and Henley. Gazer came out the blocks and led by 12 points at quarter time. But from there, it was pretty much all Henley, who kicked 7 goals to 2 after quarter time. It was a 3-point margin in favour of Gazer at the half. Then Henley, with 4 goals to 1 in the third quarter, gave themselves a 17-point buffer that they extended in the last to 24 points. So congratulations to the Henley Sharks, the Cinderella's Commercial Cleaning Division 2 premiers. That leaves us the Buddy Bet Division 1, and in the reserves, Smosh West Lakes beat Old Ignatians by 6 points, sets up a grand final at 1:40 at Mitcham. Smosh West Lakes playing Paynham at Norwood Union in the Buddy Bet Division 1 reserves grand final. In the league, Smosh West Lakes made it 2 verse in the grand final. Their league got there as well as the reserves. Biggest margin of the day, 35-point victors over Happy Valley. Sets up the big grand final. This is Division 1, Buddy Bet Division 1. Morphettville Park and Smosh West Lakes. That'll be a 3:30 first bounce. They've met 3 times, 3 wins to Morphettville Parks by 1 point in round 5. Then the Roos started getting things going, 42 points in round 12 and 12 points in the second semi-final, just not that long ago. So, grand final day, just 4 games left in the 2022 Adelaide Footy League women's season. They're all at Price Memorial Oval, Mitcham. Here is the lineup, and these will be live streamed. Check local guides for details there. 10 a.m. Division 5, the Safety Hub Division 5, Eastern Park and Fitzroy. 11:50, the non-used Division 3, Goodwood Saints and Brighton Bombers. 1:40, the Buddy Bet Division 1 reserves, Paynham, Norwood Union and Smosh West Lakes. And those Smosh fans should stick around, because at 3:30, it's the Buddy Bet Division 1 League Grand Final. Morphettville Park and Smosh West Lakes. Should be a great day at Mitcham. We'll be there for the early game. I hope to see you there. Until then, my name is Phil Herden. Thanks for watching. We'll be back same time, same place for the last wrap of the season. And don't forget, these wraps have been brought to you by CMAX Clinical Research. If you're thinking about participating in a research trial, you can learn more by jumping onto their website, cmax.com.au. Catch you next week.
Get a quick and easy low-rate car loan from Police Credit Union today.
Nine News, teaming up with the Adelaide Footy League. Tom Wren on the ground at your club for Thursday Night Live, strengthening communities through footy.
This is Around the League this week, and Sean, there's a fair bit to get through, so we've done a little separate segment. And the Women's Grand Final day was held on Saturday down at St Mary's Park for a few of the divisions. So Division 6, Edwardstown 3 goals 5-23, Loretto 2 goals 4-16. Best on ground was number 23, Jess Patching from Edwardstown. The next game, Division 4, Pembroke Old Scholars 2-4-16, defeated by Pulteney 3 goals 2-20. Best on ground, number 18, Georgia Osborne from Pulteney.
Yes, and the Division 2 reserves, that was Goodwood Saints versus Teatree Gully. Well, Teatree Gully were too good there. They kicked 4 goals 7 to Goodwood Saints 2-2, and Chloe Donovan won the best on ground. And in the Division 2 grand final, Gazer played against Henley. The score on the women's Division 2, Henley 8 goals 7, 55 to Gazer 5-1. That's our buddy bet last week was on this game, Tone.
Chook, what do I owe you, donut?
Correct. You went with the Chook and I went with Henley. Well done to the Henley Shark Girls. Best on ground was Kaylee May from Henley. So well done to all those that played and particularly those who won.
Righto, their buddy bet wager. Shawnee?
Yes. Who are we going to go for this week? Maybe we will have a bet on the Division 1 Women's Grand Final. Give you a chance to redeem yourself. So last week the bet was a donut. We'll up the ante.
Double or nothing.
Packet of donuts or a pair of Archie thongs. What do you want?
All right. Archie songs. I'll go first, Morphettville Park. Righto. I've got my bet in.
I'm okay with that. I've interviewed the Morphettville Park girls tonight and they're a lovely bunch of girls, no question about that.
Yep.
But, you know, I'm a Western Suburbs boy, Tony. I live near Smosh. I've got to look after the girls that are on my doorstep. So I'm going to go for Smosh. And I think they'll win because there's still a little bit of angst from losing last year.
Well, I'm going to go Morphettville Park because nice doesn't win games, and they were very nice in here. But don't be fooled by that because I saw them earlier on in the year. We called a game magnificent. And Celestina Donor, you were surprised, didn't you? You said, why didn't they send the ruckman in, ruck person? They did.
They did, yes.
Medal winner, and I just think they're too strong all over the ground. They know how to win finals. Great game, though, because it's the last two winning grand final teams are going to play off this week. So what an absolute belter
That's
it will be.
Price Memorial Oval at 3:30 p.m. too. It'll be live streamed. It'll be commentated. If you can't get there, tune in because this one promises to be an absolute beauty.
For a pair of thongs. Righto. C-Max. Come on, Sean.
Well,
Beauty.
Tony, we did mention last week the new Adelaide Footy League partner in C-Max. Did you know where they are?
They're on North Terrace and
you know what they do?
you get paid
They do
to
indeed.
be experimented on under, obviously, some boundaries, of course.
Yeah, well, they had one last week, which is probably still available, where you can earn $7,000 and get looked after. So if you're looking for a part-time job, it's a beauty. C-Max have an upcoming study for healthy volunteers that is trialling a potential new treatment for pulmonary arterial hypertension, a rare and progressive condition. The study involves staying at their facility for 9 consecutive nights and 1 follow-up visit. If you want to get involved, have a look at the C-Max website or register your interest now on 1800 150 433.
Now, there's only a certain amount of people that can go in for this. It's a pulmonary arterial hypertension.
You need a heart.
And
yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Righto, 9 News.
That's still your thunder then, sorry.
Yeah, no, you picked it in one.
Right.
Last Thursday, where did they go?
Well, they went out to your old mob. Now, that hasn't narrowed it down much, I know, but they went out to the Hope Valley Footy Club. And, well, thanks to the Police Credit Union again, they gave another $500 cheque out.
Very good.
And apparently it was very cold and windy up there last Thursday.
Correct.
So keep an eye on our socials for this week because Tom and the crew are heading out to the Broadview Footy Club. And this is the last visit for the season. So this is your last chance to get involved. The supporters of the campaign are amazing. Even this year through COVID, they've visited 16 clubs, Channel 9 News. So thank you to those guys.
Now, I might pop out the Broadview, Sean, and I'll tell you why. Because Roey's Roost
hasn't gone off.
Isaac and Tyra kicked to win $1,000 each for the club. Unfortunately, the ball didn't land in the bin. This is like a broken record.
Yep.
Wouldn't it be great if it went off this week at Broadview on the very last visit and Tony kicked it in? Or someone, just someone get it in.
It's not that hard, let's be honest.
Fair income. All right, Buddy Bet now. You guys did the big Buddy Bet Division 1 Best on Ground, Power Ad Player of the Day,
we did.
etc., etc.
Yep.
Read them out.
Yep, so from the live stream game last Saturday, all awards went to the Ross Trevor Old Collegians.
Lambo was back on too, was he? I
Lambo
saw him
was
in the picture.
He was in great form. He said, as he gave the award to James Wharton from Port Districts, he said, this is the Simon Black Police Academy Player of the Day. It's not actually the Police Academy. Simon Black is a football academy, but that's what you get from Lambo. I hope you're watching, Craig. Get it right, Craig. I'm not asking you for too much. Give me something. Moseley Team Player of the Day with an award courtesy of the Moseley Hotel went to Paul Fantasia. Did a great job up forward and back. And Best on Ground, this guy would have a closet full of dartfish beanies. Daniel McCullum again won the Best on Ground $100 voucher from New Balance and Belgravia Sports. So well done to those guys for the awards. What do you got, Tone?
Well, he could make a quilt out of them. The tapestry of life, you call
He
that.
could, yes.
Of his football career, of just dartfish beanies.
Mark of the week. Mark of the week.
I've got Mark of the week.
Right.
Yeah. You give me the wind-up. Proudly brought to you by Bianco Constructions and Industrial Supplies. Round 16 winner is Division 5 Kobe Wilson from the Elizabeth Football Club. Kobe wins a $100 Bianco Construction Supplies voucher. Must make contact with the league to collect his voucher. Goal of the week. Well, we haven't got one at the moment. We are standing by for 5AA to just respond and get the video in, and we'll be able to provide that person with the winning items. That is what's happening around the league. Go on, you got something?
No, I was going to say, don't forget,
Go
if you're sitting at home there and you think, gee, how do they pick them? We can't screen through every game every weekend. So if you see something at a game and you have the time to go back and have a look at the video and you think that is worthy of a nomination, please feel free to send that in. We're happy to look at all nominations for marks and goals of the week.
All right, now, this big board behind us with Sportal on it.
Yes.
I'm going to interview someone after the break about this very technology, and it is astounding, Sean.
Yeah.
Astounding. And then we're going to move over to the handball yet. So we've got a little bit to go, folks. Stay with us, and we'll be right back after the break. Righto, folks, we've talked about it. Now we're going to get into some really good technology here. I'm joined first of all by Darius from Sportal. Welcome, Darius.
Thanks for having me, Tony.
Mate, fair income. I came and spent a couple of hours with you the other day, and we're going to showcase to the viewers out there, this is so much more than a scoreboard. Now, first of all, understand this. It's Australian made, local here in South Australia. It's designed, the patents, technology is all owned locally, but wait for this, folks. Have a look at the variations that we can do. First of all, this is a football scoreboard because we're talking about football, but you can do all the other sports, soccer, basketball, hockey, whatever.
Name it.
Correct?
That's it.
Yep. Now, all of this is controlled on your phone, correct?
Via an app, exactly.
So if you've got a person at the club who sits out in the freezing cold and sits there and goes, I've got to change the numbers, all of this can be done from the warmth of the change rooms. Wait till we start to get into this. I'm so excited. Tell us first of all, because this is how I operate, mate. Animations. I'm a player. I go out and kick a goal. Are you telling me that you can bring up a replay in an animation and you can put my head on that animation first of all?
I don't know if I want your face on it, but yeah, we could. We totally could. The idea here is to bring that enterprise experience right down to the social and competitive levels. So.
Yeah, so the obviously the animations can match the team.
Yep.
Now the score, currently we can see up there a normal scoreboard, as we all know. Tell us about a yellow card. So wait for this one, folks. No more wondering about on the sidelines who's keeping time. Coach tearing his hair out going, how much time is there to go? What can you do with the scoreboard?
Right, so let's say we've got a yellow card and it starts with 10 minutes on the game time. So as the game clock starts running, the idea is in that yellow square you could put the bib number or jersey number of that player so you can have concurrent timers running for multiple yellow cards.
So there it is, folks. You can have the yellow carded player, which we don't want too much of, but it's up on the scoreboard. Everyone can see it. The player knows when he's coming back on, the coach, the umpires, everyone. Fantastic. This is just a minute look so far. Can we put a siren in here if needed?
Yeah, for sure. Exactly right. And if your facility has already got one, we just tap into it.
Okay. Now, I'm a coach. I'm out there, 10 minutes to go. Team's out warming up. What's up on the scoreboard? Is it just the same old thing here? Or are we going to be able to see players and maybe a countdown timer so we know how long before the game starts?
That's right. You can see highlight clips of the two teams that are coming up head to head, and so everyone gets amped up and hyped up and getting amongst it all.
And the countdown timer you showed me the other day, we could have a player from each team, a different player, counting down 20, 40 seconds, whatever it might be. You can set it your own way. You can set it to your own team, or you can set it with both teams. It is absolutely amazing what we can do here. The other thing that I'm interested in is that only the people at the ground that can see the scoreboard. This is connected to the internet. Where can I watch it?
So anyone that's connected to the internet, they can check on the scores live, on the fly, and for the comfort of their home, you name it.
Darius. All around Australia.
Around the world. Around the world.
Around the world. Fair income. So you can tune into this live. There's a scoreboard going. You can watch all the animations, all the fun bits, all the replays. Fantastic. Interactive with spectators, of course. Show us an example, please, if you don't mind. We've pulled up a couple of clubs. We've got 76 clubs, and 67 clubs, sorry, and I reckon everyone will want one of these scoreboards. But we've pulled up a couple. Have a look at this. The aspect and brightness can also be controlled because of the weather, the brightness of the day.
So I'll go in and
we can do club colours up there. We can also put up individual logos of clubs. It is absolutely amazing, interactive. So there we have two teams, with all due respect, Pulteney and Jeps Cross Rams, and the colours on this screen are just absolutely sensational. I was interested also, so there's a little bit of the aspect being able to change. The technology behind this, we'll get into a little bit of this, they're all little blocks, aren't they?
That's right.
So they're individual.
It's modular.
Modular, yes. Tell us a little bit, is this the only size? Is it portable? Is it fixed?
So it starts at 100-inch baseline screen size, and we grow it into 2x2, 3x3, 4x4, and so on.
Yep.
So it maintains that aspect ratio. You don't need to second guess it. You just keep growing it out in a matrix.
So this is unbelievable. So you can see we've got smaller screens with it on, larger screens with it on. It can be built to the needs. We can have a fixed scoreboard, but the other one is
portable.
It can be portable. So if you've got junior football and it's windy and blowy over that side of the ground and not so bad, there's a couple of trees, you can tow it down to that end of the ground. You can put up a lot of the highlights. The other thing is, we were talking about, if you've got your juniors and you're having training night and it's a pie night and you want to put a movie on,
that's right.
You can pull anything up on this. It's not just a scoreboard. It can be a movie screen. The other advantage I see here for senior coaches is a coach can get up in front of a whiteboard and put all his drills on a whiteboard, and half the players go, I'm not following that, where do I go? And it's in the change room, they've got to run out.
On the fly, on demand. Yep.
This can be set up. There's your scoreboard at training, and the coach can go, I want to look at this film clip from Dartfish, this film clip from Dartfish, whatever it might be. I want to look at 5 minutes highlight package of our kick-ins. It's there on, the players can be in their kit, out on the ground, watching the highlights and go run into the drill. You can also put the drill up.
Exactly right. On demand, on the fly. That's it.
So it is absolutely mind-blowing. It is phenomenal with what we can do. Now, speakers at the ground, we can tie them in. So you can do your ground announcements, the siren, and so on.
And for the TVCs, for advertising as well. And
so our last thing that we're going to point out this week, the sponsors. So many of these clubs have got sponsors. So there's normally two teams, a home team and an away team. If you only want to do the home team sponsors for that week, they can go up. If you want to do both team sponsors for that week, they can go up. Now, in Aussie rules, we'll have 18 home and away games, so 9 and 9 or 16, whatever it might be. What happens if we play at a neutral ground and that club says, well, we want to put our sponsors up as well? You can actually have three different sets.
That's right. And interleave them and just have them prioritized based on whatever they want.
So this is groundbreaking, folks. Fair income. We came in and had a look at this the other day and some of the technology. Next week, we're going to go run through some of the other processes that can be done. This is just week one. But that entices me as a club person or a committee member or a sponsor to say, hang on a minute, rather than just a little sign in the club rooms, it can be up on the scoreboard. It can have animations put to it. It can be whatever kind of advert you want.
Yeah.
You could have a goal sponsor and that sponsor's name comes up and so on. Darius, we've only just touched on it this week, mate. I know we're going to do round 2. Thank you so much. Is there anything else that I haven't touched on for the moment that you might want to add? Because that was very quick on your phone.
Yeah, and to note, even if you don't got the scoreboard, everyone can just use the app to score and interact with the session. So for social netball, in a venue that just can't accommodate having a scoreboard, they can just use the app.
Now, we'll finish with this one because it is very easy to use. You set this up on my phone the other day. I had to play around. What was the one thing that I played with? Can you remember?
The replays.
The siren.
Oh, the siren.
I had to blow the horns. I'm blowing the trumpet on this. Fantastic scoreboards. As I said, in all seriousness, we'll have a little bit of a look next week. Thank you so much, Darius.
Thank you,
First of all, for joining us, mate. Fantastic.
Appreciate it.
And let's have another chat next week with a little bit more technology. There we are, folks. G'day, folks. We have been promising this for 1, maybe 2 years. Here it is. Our big handball target has arrived. Sean, I'll tell you what, mate, you're going to be the first ever man to give this a go. We're going to have a nice old contest next week on it. Make sure you stay tuned, folks, because next year, 10! 10!
There it is, Tone. It's not that hard.
I'll tell you what. You're right, Sean, it's not.
I'll tell you what. Colleges or clubs, traditional clubs? Who
Both.
wins? Both. Everyone's a winner. Handball game next year. See you then.
But Mahuda goes all the way. Where again, Mahuda?
Good grab by Anjana, then Crone late. It's Anjana the Grey. Anjana.
Hillholders win out best. Life on the wire, Twitchy Frank. Twitchy Frank.
Classic legend, Wild Planet kicking back. Crone dashing through. Will beat the lot of them. Crone.
Laugh-a-lays coming out, and they reach the line. Nearly a dead heat.
But this is speedy and professional. Profiteer for Mickey D is going to win easily.
Herden continued to open them up late and won very impressively.
Well, thanks for coming back, folks. I hope you've got through the whole show. It mightn't have been easy to do it in one go, so maybe you've had a chance to do it in bits and pieces. But we are at the end of the show, Tone. What have you got for us?
Well, first of all, thank you to all those magnificent guests that came in for all the wonderful interviews tonight, Sean. Remember, folks, the women's finals this week are at Mitcham. It's a staggered process again. Not us staggered, of course. There might be a few at the end of the game. However, all these games are live streamed and commentated the whole day.
Wow.
Will be done this week at Mitcham. Remember, Division 7 men's final start.
Yep.
Division 6 to 2, it's the final round. Special thanks also to Sportal for having us into the offices down here, and we'll have some more on them next week, of course. Remember the big broadcast game, Goodwood Saints versus PAC. You'll be bringing that to us, Sean, and through Dartfish and filming footy, of course. Find us on social media. Remember, Phil Herden does a very comprehensive wrap-up of just about anything and everything going on in results in the league. Next week, Sean, we have something very big to announce.
Yeah, don't forget, next week we're going to have the roundtable discussion. This has been a point of interest probably for the last 6 or 8 weeks, but really for the last 5 or 6 years. And we hope we can uncover a little bit more so we can share some discussion with you about the salary cap and the implications of that. Are clubs adhering to it or not? Is it a white elephant? Should we get rid of it? Should we keep it? All those questions and more we hope to answer for you next week. So stay tuned for that. But we hope you've enjoyed the show tonight. Have a great weekend and good luck to all the teams participating in the finals this week. Just remember, Tony, I nearly forgot.
Whatever shots you may take.
Yes.
May they
go straight between the posts.